Duckler might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Hi everybody, it's Emily. So this week I will be going over how technically last week was 9 months on HRT, and the effects I've had since then, and also in bigger news that I actually came out to some of my coworkers this week, my main manager and another coworker who I'm friends with, and another person I'm friends with who works in the same building. I will go over not only that, but kind of like the process I've done so far in coming out to work, where I am just about to, after the holiday, I will be going full-time on January 5th. So that's like, you know, it's a big thing and exciting, and yeah. So first off, we'll start with 9-month HRT. Basically, from there, I haven't really seen too much change between then. My skin has definitely gotten a lot softer between 8 and 9 months. That's one of the biggest things I think I've seen. Breast development, I'm still at a 36B, which obviously I've told you guys that was like really quick, and don't compare because, you know, everybody's different. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the facial changes I had came on pretty early, and I mean, since then, I mean, yeah, they kind of just blended in, and my face changes. If I look at pictures now, it's definitely different, but it's getting there. And, you know, the fact that, you know, my skin is a lot softer, and, you know, I've seen a little bit of hip development again. It's a little more, the hip development seems to be going a little slower. You know, they all can't be winners, I guess. But, you know, everybody's different, so I'm guessing that will come in its own time. I will be patient. But on to the bigger thing is coming out at work. I'm going to start at the beginning. I don't know if I've ever actually talked about this, is how I started off. I work in a university setting. So your process of it might be a little different. But when it came to doing a university setting so far, obviously I'm not completely fully until like about a few weeks from now, when I will be fully out there. I started in about September, and I ended up trying to find out who to talk to in the university setting. I first went to HR, and the actual HR department pretty much didn't know what to do. I believe I found out later that I'm really their first hands-on transgender employee situation, transitioning on the job. So the first thing that I was told was, when I got there, the woman was like, I don't know, you just do it? And that just seemed like, oh, I don't really think that's the right way to do it, but okay. And then she ended up pointing me to the office of, like, equal opportunity office. So I went there, and they were, like, a lot better, but they also didn't understand like who they should really go to. So I ended up going to faculty and staff assistants office, and there was a woman there who was who talks to employees and staff, and she was very helpful. She didn't really know the process either, because there really wasn't a process. So we decided we're actually going to write it out. So I had a hands-on writing in actually the employee worker, basically employee worker, like, worksheet about how in the process of coming out will, like, it's basically like a template. So we drew that together, and we got a hold of somebody HR to talk with and change my information and stuff when that happens, which it did this week, and I'll talk about that later. Yay. But so at that point, we had discussed a plan and stuff, and I had already come out to one of my other work friends who I work with, who's a colleague, because we know each other a little bit outside of work and stuff, and we're just close, and, you know, I felt like it was okay to tell him during the summer when I originally went to HR and stuff. And it was very helpful. It had, it kept somebody there I could talk to and had my back a little bit, which felt nice. But this week was a bigger week because we're so close. I told my direct supervisor. And, I mean, I was super nervous. I actually hadn't been that nervous in a very long time about, like, telling people or transitioning in general, even going out in public. I haven't even been that scared about that. So this was, like, definitely a different, like, change for me. So I knocked on his office and I asked if, we could, talk privately for a second. And he said, sure. And, we just talked and I told him, look, I'm sure you've been wondering, I've been going to HR and faculty staff assistant stuff. I'm actually transgender and I am transitioning and I'm planning on transitioning fully at the beginning of next semester. And, he was very good. He was supportive. He just, he made sure he's like, I hope, we're all going to be supportive here and like work through it. And, nothing's going to change for you, which is the number one thing I did want to hear. I wanted to hear that nothing was going to change. I was scared of like, I was more scared of not just, my work changing, but it was more the relationships changing. I was a little worried about relationships changing because, it's very male-dominated workforce at where I work right now, especially in my department. So like, I was a little worried about that. I don't want things to change drastically, and I really hope they don't, and I don't think they will, because I came out to my other coworker as well, and he was very accepting, and, he told me he had my back, and, like, he would always support me, and nothing will change, I'm still the same person, which was nice to hear. It's nice to know that, people know I'm the same person. I mean, for me, obviously, it's a little hard sometimes, especially when I'm telling them face-to-face, and I am at work, I still dress like a man, as hard as that is to believe sometimes, seeing me here. Yeah, I do, and like I put a lot of work into looking like a boy now when I have to go to work. I have to make sure to wear like the baggiest things. I have to make sure to, wear a hat. Just do anything to make myself look more masculine. So that because I was so afraid of people just finding things out and being like, oh, something's up. I mean, I was even scared with my hair getting a little longer, and it's the reason why I haven't got my ears pierced yet, was like, that someone would notice something. But, telling people when you're dressed like that, it's hard to, gather their thoughts, and especially for them, because they're seeing you fully trying my hardest to present as a guy, so it's, you can understand that, like, things would, be a little iffy, and with my two direct coworkers, it definitely was not, and that felt really good. That they were very accepting, especially my coworker who's not my supervisor. He was very accepting, and you could tell he knew about transgender situations and stuff, and was just like a very accepting person for it. So it felt really good to know that I've come out, and at least my core team I work with, is there for me and like supports me, and that it does help and it does mean a lot. I did tell another person I work with inside the studio atmosphere of the university, and it went well. He seemed a little confused. It didn't seem like he touched on this information a lot, and it didn't like get to him a lot, but he was very supportive and said he will support me and nothing changes, just like my other coworker did, and it was good to hear. And yeah, it makes me feel good that it's definitely, and it's also it feels really good to hear, and it's also like a weight off my chest. The continuation of like hiding who I am and hiding everything from everybody is just very daunting, and when you have to do that, it's just since I've transitioned in the last year and a half, I've been a very much happier, confident, and even more motivated person to do things, and I'd love to take that to my work. I mean, right now at work, like I've said, I feel like I'm just going through the motions right now, which is not what I want to do. I feel like I'm going through the motions because I'm sitting there being someone I'm not, and I'm like trying so hard to play this character as like, my old name and, as male, and it's definitely, it takes a toll, and it's definitely hard to like put yourself out there to like go, oh, I'm going to do this at work and this or this work, because there's so much stuff I'd like to learn and do. And it's just like when you have to hold yourself back to not be yourself, because you're definitely not being yourself, it's hard. And I hope that now, that I'm presenting and that, like, I'm being myself, and I can bring this confident, person I am to my workplace, it'll be for the better all around. So yeah, overall it went really well. As I said, they also changed my information in the work system. So there should be only like my insurance and stuff has to be contacted, and they're doing that this week. So everything should be changed, and that's really cool. Like it's nice to know that, like, when I actually leave for Christmas and start for Christmas, like, I'm fully Emily, I'm fully female, like everything's in there, and it's really cool, and it's crazy to see things moving forward. Like, you just don't expect it, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Basically, it's been a big week with just, telling people. I will obviously update you all, when I go in for the first time on January 5th. I will be doing videos in between there, don't worry. I will even put one next week. But yeah, it's, it's getting there, and I will definitely talk to you guys about how it goes. But I hope you all have a swell week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.